Gary Neville launched a scathing assessment of the first few months of the Ruben Amorim era at Manchester United in the wake of the club's most recent setback. The Red Devils were handed a chastening 2-0 defeat by Crystal Palace at Old Trafford on Sunday, which consigned the club to a 7th Premier League defeat under Amorim. In fact, United have now lost 5 of their 7 home league matches under Amorim, in a worrying run of form for the club. The new head coach has not had long to bed in with his new players, given a lack of pre-season training and limited tactical planning with the club in midweek action, and reports suggested he had even fallen out with Marcus Rashford. The manager frequently suggested that he did not want players who would not give their maximum after Rashford claimed he was ready for a new challenge after being left out of the Manchester Derby earlier in the season. As such, amid the club's torrid form, Gary Neville has predicted that things will only go downhill for United before the end of the campaign, and indeed the current progression or lack thereof could hinder next season's plans too. "I thought it would get better when Ruben Amorim came in," he said on the Gary Neville podcast. "I thought the enthusiasm and the new system, I thought they'd buy into it, the players, and we'd see a bounce. We've seen the absolute opposite. It's got a lot worse, and that's surprising." He continued, "But there's going to be a lot more pain towards the end of the season, and it is going to be damaging. They're obviously going to stick with Ruben Amorim, but the more you lose, the more difficult it is to convince the players of the idea. The idea that he talked about in the early days. You need the players to buy into it, but if they lose with it and they keep getting criticized, the spotlight comes on them more and the fans are leaving unhappy. You can't keep losing. It will depress the thoughts of the players, to the point whereby they'll lose faith with the idea. It'll damage the start of next season. He has to do something. He can't change his approach because he's died in a ditch on it. And rightly so. I think he's lost more games at Manchester United since he's come than he lost in the last 75 at Sporting." Much was made of the Portuguese head coach's preferred 3-4-2-1 system that brought great success at Sporting Clube de Portugal, and how it would fare under rigorous testing in the Premier League. Results alone would so far suggest that things are not quite going to plan for Amorim, though it is worth pointing out that he has been largely unable to make additions to his side in order to bring in personnel better suited to his tactical plans. However, as Neville points out, he must now try to adapt to the players that he has in a bid to get the best out of them if he is to stand a chance to rescue United's season. He will not be enjoying this, but I think he's got to simplify it. He might not like Rasmus Højlund, he might not think Joshua Zirkzee is great, or might not like other players. He's got to pick the players he has and stick with them. It can't keep going on as it is. They have to somehow start to play better, but where's it coming from? But I have to say, at this moment in time, it's a sorry situation. A very sorry situation when United play. United did bring in Patrick Dorgu, the deal finalized over the weekend, to bolster Amorim's ranks at left wing back. With Tyrell Malaysia and Luke Shaw struggling for sustained fitness, the former now moving on loan to PSV Eindhoven, the Red Devils were thin in the ranks on the left of defense. Wing-back, though, as Neville adds, is a specialist position requiring both attacking and defending prowess, and as such the acquisition of the Danish international from Lecce should be a major boost to Amorim. While things are not going swimmingly in the league, United are currently 13th with only 8 wins from 24 after the weekend's results. Amorim can at least take solace from his side's performances in the Europa League.